everyone, welcome back to Creatively Crafted Life. This is Melanie, and today we're going to work on a project, not a crafting project. We are going to make an additional shelf for my Kallax unit. Basically that unit there, I want to add another level, and this is how I'm going to put it together. I have no idea on the quality of these items, so I'm just giving you the idea. Do your own research as far as whether this would work for you or not, but I'm willing to give it a try. So the Kallax unit is approximately 57 and a little bit of inches, and it's just over 15 or just under 16 inches wide. And so I went to Lowe's and I found this board, which is 16 inches wide by 72 inches long. So it's about just over a foot longer than what I need, and it's about not even quite an inch wider. And I could have actually asked someone at Lowe's to trim this down, but I decided that I'm okay with the overhang. This is going to put about, I think, 7 inches on either side, and I'm not too upset about that. And I have the room. You can see there's a little bit of room on that side as well as a lot on that side. So I'm going to go with it and see how this works. As far as legs go, I found these on Amazon. Let me show you the front box, and if I can get a picture off of the Amazon, I will do that. So it's from a brand, it looks like Critty, and they are 400 millimeter legs, which should be, I believe, about 15 inches or pretty close. And the diameter is 50 millimeters. So if you look at them, you know, I think they're going to be sturdy enough. But you never know. Craft supplies are heavy. So I needed 15 inches because my thought is, I don't know if you remember from one of my previous videos, is I have all my 12 by 12 paper on the very bottom shelf on this one as well as the one over on the right. And I don't like having it down so low. So my thought is to place it along the top shelf, but I need at least 12 inches of clearance, maybe a little bit more with the cropper hopper type containers I have it in. So here's what I'm going to do today. I am going to take this out. It says it's factory sanded, and I'm lazy, so I'm not going to try and sand it any further. If that's something that's really important to you, you may want to put some finishing sanding on it. I'm just going to leave it as is. I'm going to paint it, and I have some enamel paint that I'm going to try and cover this with. It will be white. But before I paint, I thought it would be a good idea to adhere the legs, have them there so that I can stand it up, and then I can just paint the top. I'm not going to paint the underside. And when that's done, hopefully I'll have a good shelf or a nice shelf that I can add on there. So let me get to this, and I will, maybe touch base halfway through and then show you the end result. Okay, I just thought I would share with you my thought process and how I'm measuring this. So I took the length of the Kallax unit and subtracted the length of this board, divided the difference so I knew how much on either side. And then I don't know if you know or if you recall on Kallax units, they have this little bit of an edge for the end panel, and I don't really want this sitting on here because it's not perfectly level. So I want it to be just over on the other side of it, and that is about an inch wide. So an inch or an inch and a half. Let me just double check. Yeah, it's about an inch and a half wide. So I then took an inch and a half on either side of that panel and marked these lines here. Okay. So now I know that the legs have to go on this side of the line, and then I want it to be at least a ½ inch off the back. So I just made a mark for that, and basically then this is just going to butt up in the corner, and I'm going to screw that in. And then for this side, I'm going to do a full inch because this board is slightly wider, and I also want to just give myself a little bit of wiggle room. So those are the measurements. Now I'm going to affix the legs. I'm going to try and not pre-drill the holes, but I may have to. just to get them started. But we'll see. I'm lazy and I don't want to go and pull out the drill. Anyways, let me get back to it. Okay, so that's what the shelf looks like. I'm really happy with it. I think it's going to be perfect. I don't really care that this is encroaching into the window. And even if when I put stuff on top of there, it just that doesn't bother me at all. I'd much rather have this space, the usable space. Now these legs are adjustable, and so if there was any leveling issue, like for instance this post here needed to be adjusted slightly. Okay, so next stop is to add paint. Okay, I'm all set up to paint. Ideally I should do this outside on the balcony, but I'm not going to. I've got the windows propped open. The paint that I'm going to be using is this HGTV Sherwin-Williams Interior Exterior High Gloss Smart Dry Technology in extra white, and it's supposed to give a durable glass-like enamel finish. We'll see how this goes. My plan is to do this on this shelf as well as my tabletop, so we'll see how this goes. Yeah, I will be right back. Okay, I have one coat on. Not that it looks like it, so we're definitely going to need more than one coat. I don't care if it's solid white. I'm okay with it, you know, seeing through. So I probably won't do more than two, but we'll see. Now, painting does bring out the texture of the wood. So like I said, I did not re-sand this. If that's something that's important to you, that you have a very clean and smooth shelf, then you will definitely want to do that before starting to paint. Okay, I'm going to let this first coat dry. I'm going to stick all my paint supplies in a bag so that I don't have to clean up, and they'll still be okay when I'm ready to paint again in a couple hours. Okay, so this is what it looks like with 3 coats. I think that's all I'm going to do. Like I said, it's not perfect, but I didn't want to put the effort into it. It's going to be mostly covered anyways. But yeah, overall, I'm happy with how this turned out. It still needs to dry, so I think I'm going to move it over to its final final destination to let it dry there, and then we can get started on my next project. Okay, so it's now moved over. It clearly is not level, but I suspect that's more that the floor is not level than anything else, but I will play around with that and make sure we get that straight once it's dry. I hope you found this interesting and that maybe you consider doing something similar in your craft room if you need a little bit of extra space. Like I said before, I'll try and find a link on Amazon where I got the legs from. Now, just as a caution, they are loose, meaning they're not firmly attached in here, so there is a little bit of wiggle. I wish that they were part of the plate so that they'd be a little bit more sturdy. So that's just something to keep in mind. But overall, I think they'll serve its purpose and they'll do just fine. So anyways, thank you so much for joining me. And until next time, happy crafting and happy organizing. Bye.